50 million of fans cry. Taehyung's confession in LA breaks Jungkook's heart. What really happened? Before we dive into this emotional storm, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss the truth behind the moments that shape BTS history. Now, let's go back to the night when 50 million hearts broke all at once. The Los Angeles stop of BTS's tour had been one of the most anticipated events in their entire schedule. Fans had flown in from every corner of the globe: Seoul, London, Sao Paulo, Manila, some spending their life savings just for a ticket. The city was alive with purple lights, army bombs blinking in unison like a sea of tiny stars. Every street near the stadium pulsed with energy. But inside the group, things weren't as harmonious as they appeared on stage. For weeks, subtle changes had been noticed. Jungkook's smile, though still dazzling, didn't reach his eyes as often. Taehyung seemed lost in thought during rehearsals, missing cues he normally never would. The other members sensed it too, but in the whirlwind of concerts, interviews, and fan meets, there was no room to slow down. That night, as the group prepared backstage, Jungkook found himself glancing at Taehyung more often than usual. Something in the way Taehyung adjusted his in-ear monitors, and the way he stayed silent as the others chatted, made Jungkook's chest feel tight. It wasn't anger. It wasn't disappointment. It was fear. Fear that something was about to change. And then came the moment that set everything in motion. Midway through the concert, after an electrifying performance of Mic Drop, the stage lights dimmed. A single piano note rang out, the opening to a duet that Jungkook and Taehyung had rehearsed countless times. It was supposed to be one of the night's most intimate, heartfelt performances, a showcase of their brother-like bond. At first, everything went according to plan. Their voices blended in perfect harmony, the crowd swaying like a living wave. But halfway through the song, Taehyung's voice cracked. He paused, closed his eyes, and for a brief second, the music seemed to stop breathing. The audience thought it was part of the performance, an emotional touch. But Jungkook knew better. He could feel it in his bones. Something was wrong. Taehyung took a step forward, still holding the mic, and the look on his face was the kind you can't fake, a look that screamed of pain, love, and regret all at once. "Jungkook," he said softly, but the microphone carried his voice across the entire stadium. "I need to say this now, before it's too late." The crowd erupted in screams, thinking maybe this was leading to a playful moment. But Taehyung's next words silenced them instantly. It's hard to explain to someone who wasn't there what that pause felt like. Thousands of people in the stadium, tens of millions watching online, and yet it was as if the entire world had shrunk down to just two people, Taehyung and Jungkook. Taehyung's hand trembled slightly as he held the mic. His eyes met Jungkook's for a fraction of a second, and there was something unspoken there, years of shared memories, hardships, victories, and the kind of bond that can't be put into words. "I don't know how much longer I can," his voice faltered again, and Jungkook's lips parted, his own eyes glistening. Fans on social media would later describe it as one of the most haunting moments in BTS's history, the moment where joy, sadness, and fear collided in a single heartbeat. Of course, not everyone in the audience understood what Taehyung meant right away. Was it about the group? About his personal life? About Jungkook himself? Theories spread like wildfire even before the concert ended. Some swore they saw Jungkook step closer, as if to comfort him, while others insisted there was a flash of hurt across his face, the kind of hurt you feel when someone you love tells you they might be gone soon. What makes this moment even more powerful is the history behind it. Taehyung and Jungkook weren't just bandmates, they were brothers in everything but blood. They had trained together, shared meals, fought, made up, and pushed each other to be better for nearly a decade. They'd seen each other through moments of exhaustion, illness, heartbreak, and triumph. And yet, in that moment, Jungkook looked like a man who had just realized he might lose one of the most important people in his life. The rest of the song was a blur. Taehyung's voice wavered, Jungkook's harmonies were softer than usual, almost as if he was holding back. By the time the music faded, the crowd was in tears, though most didn't even know exactly why. They only knew they had witnessed something raw, something real, something that couldn't be rehearsed. When the performance ended, Jungkook placed a hand on Taehyung's shoulder, leaning in to whisper something. Cameras couldn't catch the words, but the look Taehyung gave in return was enough to shatter hearts. It wasn't relief. It wasn't reassurance. It was something far more complicated. Backstage after the show, staff members described the atmosphere as tense but quiet. No shouting, no visible arguments, just a heavy silence, like a storm that had passed but left the air thick with electricity. Jungkook stayed close to Taehyung, but neither spoke much. And yet, the internet was already ablaze. Within minutes, clips of Taehyung's words went viral, hashtags flooded Twitter, and fan theories began spinning out of control. Some speculated he was hinting at a temporary break from BTS. Others believed it was about his personal health. But the most heartbreaking theory was that it had something to do with Jungkook himself. Because for years, fans had sensed an unspoken connection between the two, a connection so deep that even the slightest shift in their dynamic was enough to send ARMY into a frenzy. And in Los Angeles that night, the shift had been seismic. If this was just about exhaustion, why choose that moment, in front of millions, to speak? If it was just a random emotional slip, why did Jungkook look the way he did? And most importantly, what could have been so heavy on Taehyung's heart that he felt he couldn't keep it inside any longer? We're about to unravel the truth, piece by piece. But be warned, the deeper we go, the more it will challenge everything you thought you knew about their bond. In the days following that unforgettable night in LA, ARMY's online spaces turned into detective boards straight out of a mystery movie. Looking back now, the LA confession feels almost like a piece of poetry, unscripted, imperfect, but unforgettable. It was a moment that peeled back the glitter and exposed the raw heartbeat underneath. A moment that made millions of people around the world stop, listen, and feel something real. And perhaps that's why, even years from now, fans will still remember the night the music paused, the stadium held its breath, and Taehyung's voice, fragile but resolute, carried a message that broke hearts and bound them closer all at once. Because in the end, it wasn't just about what was said. It was about the silence after. The look exchanged between two people who have walked through fire together. The unspoken promise that, no matter what comes next, they'll face it side by side.